Welcome back to Painting and Decorating. As promised to somebody who left a comment, fixing an Artex ceiling with water damage. Now, this happened a couple of months back and I couldn't actually do anything for my customer. So what I did is I put this board up for the time being, just to save any muck. First off, I'm going to remove the board and we'll have a quick look. So, on with the mask. You can see why the board was up there, the amount of muck that fell out. Well, let's have a quick look at that. So you can see it's a fair mess, and by the looks of it, it's been Artexed before, because that's one layer of Artex and that's another layer of Artex. So yeah, all good fun. Have a look at this. Yeah, that's the old lap and plaster, and that's the old plaster, and that's pretty solid actually, that plaster. Unbelievable that. That's really solid, that. Can't pull that off. So that's staying. As you can see, it's had plasterboard put on there. It's pretty rough. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark out a square and then I'm going to remove all the rubbish and then replace with a piece of plasterboard, and hopefully we'll be able to seal the plasterboard and then Artex straight over the plasterboard if we get the level right. All good fun. All good fun. Right then, let's crack on. Basically, what I've done, I've measured the plasterboard and I've also measured where I want to come and cut out to. So I've marked a line on it and then measured it on the plasterboard. So I'm going to cut all that out. It just makes life so much easier to neaten it up and take all the loose off. So I'll cut that out now. What I'm going to try and do is go around it with a Stanley knife best I can and then just chip it off, you know. So I've got a new blade in my Stanley knife. Let's see how this goes. Be careful, because you don't want to be falling off your steps. It's not too bad, that. So basically you get the idea there. It's going to take a little bit to work at it. You can cut round the edge as well. I've got a scraper. I've got a scraper that I'm slowly going to start working at it. So as I get to this edge where I've been cutting it, it's not quite gone through. So what I'm going to do is using my scraper, this is an old one, which is quite sharp, and the hammer, I'm going to work back from it so I don't damage the edge too much. So basically you get the idea of that. You've got to cut it off all the way around. Make sure you keep the edge very neat. That's just a bit of a bow in the other board, but there's nothing that can be done about that. Now, I'll show you this once I've cleared it off and then the next stage. Cut it back. It's not too bad. I mean, a lot of waste. or a muck I should say. Anyway, so another quick look. Now the plasterboard's going to slip over the top of that edge, as you can see. There's no real need to fix that as such, but what I am going to do is just put some diluted PVA all over that once I've dusted it off, and I'm actually going to squirt some foam up there just to secure the ends of these a little bit. Not that they're loose, they are well solid because they're actually nailed to the joists, but just to make it a little bit more, how would I put it, secure. Help with the insulation a bit as well, that's the word I was looking for. Now, what you need to do is make sure you remove all the old nails. Now, I'm actually going to screw this up this time. It just makes it a little bit more secure, but it's not too bad that. Right, so with your claw hammer, just make sure you get rid of all these nails. That's pretty tough, that one. Try and follow the joist if you can, otherwise you'll crack the plaster more. Just this last one, where we go? There you go. Alright, so remove all those, clean around the edge, squirt of PVA and some foam. And then we'll cut the board to size and stick it up. The only problem I have got is this bow. And it goes all the way along the ceiling. So really, there's not much I can do with that. I'm going to try and wedge it and see if the board will bow with it. The only other thing as well, some of the Artex has come off a bit further because it's been put over old Artex and it wasn't adhered proper. So, but that's not too bad. It'll just help with the blending in really when we do the artexing. I just thought I'd show you the PVA. That's the one I use. I mean, there's different ones on the market. Just don't use a waterproof one when you're decorating. Now, I've actually diluted it. My ratios, they're not exact, but it's got to be milky water, right? That's it. It's got to soak in. It's got to be able to come out your nozzle on your spray. That's a pump spray I'm using on this because, as you can see, there's no point in using a brush, it's just difficult. Flat surfaces you can use a brush, not too bad, burr plaster, things like that, but I'm just going to use this pump spray. So I'll just... And what I'm going to do also is go around the rest of it, around the edge. It just tightens everything up. Not too much. And then wipe down all the runs. Don't let it run everywhere. Wipe it off. So once you've sealed it, you don't really have to wait for it to dry because this stuff sticks to water better. Sometimes you're better actually wetting the area before you put this on. I'll just show you a little bit of this. I have a bit of newspaper as well so you can capture the drips and the mess. So what I've done, like I say, I've sealed the whole lot. Even sealed the Artex there to the edge where it's come off. Well, I've just run out, I need another one. So what I'll do, that's all you get to see. Because I need to go and get some more now. You can see what I'm doing there. I'm trying to trap it between so it just doesn't fall back out. And that'll just seal along that edge there. And like I say, if you get any dripping off, make sure you try and collect it. Don't let it drip on any surfaces, and use your newspaper. Alright, see, I've done the foam. Now, what I've done is I've marked whereabouts the joists are. So as soon as I put the board up, I can screw into the joists. So hopefully it all goes well, because doing this on your own is never easy, but needs must. Now the board I've got is just a little bit short for how much actually come off because of the size of the board where it was, but it's not a problem. I'm just going to infill that. So I've got everything ready to go. I've got my screws in my pocket, and I've got my drill there, which I'm just going to pop in my pouch. That's all ready to go. Screws that out. Right. Luckily it slips under that edge there. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all, huh? Right. Now what I did is I put a piece of plasterboard across to give that a bit more level there. I should say a better level. Don't go too deep with your screws, otherwise that happens. It pops off. There's a bit of a bow in it there, but like I say, if you go too far with a screw, that's it. Not bad at all, right? It's not bad. That's all. So I'll finish screwing this in place, and then I'm going to infill this part here with another piece of plasterboard, and then all around the edge I'm going to put some foam to help fill the gap, and then basically once it's cut back I'm more or less ready to artex. But what I am going to do, this is I've pre-painted that. I'm going to have to put, like I say, another piece in there, but what I'm going to do before I artex it is put some neat PVA on top of it and just leave that for 20 minutes to go off a little bit and just help the Artex stick to the board better, but doing well. Okay, let that dry off and put it back, and I'm ready to put my Artex on. That's what I'm using. Now, it actually says there, creates or smooths over textured patterns. So you can either create the pattern, there's some of the patterns, or you can actually cover over texture, you know. Anyway, this is a 5 kilogram bag and it's 0.5 litres of water for every kilogram. So I've got 2.5 litres of water in that bucket there, and I'm going to pour in my powder slowly and I'm going to use my mixing paddle to mix it up to a nice thick consistency. Now once you've mixed it up, it says there, leave to stand for 10 minutes and remix, and then use the mix for smoothing over a texture or textured patterns. You know, you can dilute it as follows. If you want to smooth the pattern and you're only doing a stipple effect, which is that one there, you can thin it out a bit because it doesn't need to be that thick. Now if you're doing some other patterns, that's the one we're kind of matching up to there, you need it thicker. Now on this ceiling it's really thick, so I'm going to well, I'll probably say I've got enough Artex to add some more in there if I need be, so I'll see how it goes. Once I've mixed it, I'm going to apply it to the ceiling using my flat brush, and then to actually do the pattern, believe it or not, a sponge, but you actually leave it in the plastic bag like that. And what you do, we load it with Artex first, so you put some Artex on the front of that, and then once your Artex is on the ceiling, stick it on the ceiling, twist it round in a circle and pull it off. But you can have a look at that in a minute. Let's mix this first. Just before we mix the Artex, let's just have a look where we're up to. Now, I put some plastic sheet round just to save some mess, because it can be messy, Artex. Now, let's have a look. You can see, like I say, that's old Artex with some new Artex on. So it's come off there, so I'm going to blend it in, which kind of makes it easier in a way. You know. So I've cut all the foam back, and I've actually applied a coat of PVA undiluted on there. So you know, you use that when you're plastering to help adhesion. Sometimes you dilute it slightly, but with the board being primed, there's no need to. Now, when you do Artex, you apply it with a flat brush or a roller, it's up to you. Then you do your texture, and after you've done your texture, you use a brush. Let's just have a look there. And you go round the edge of the ceiling with a brush, and you clean off any Artex as well that's on the wall. But you go round with a brush and just finish it off with a neat line. So, right then, let's mix some Artex. Important thing is don't leave any lumps on the bottom of the powder. You really have got to make sure that you get rid of any lumps, you know, give it a scrape round. Let's just zoom in a bit there. Right. What I'm going to do now is just give it a scrape round with a scraper, just in case there's any mixture that's dry at the bottom or anything like that. Just double check it. That's not too bad at all, that. Right. Look there. I'm not going to taste it, but I think that's done. Now leave it for 10 minutes, mix it again. I might add a little bit more water to it because I mean it's not too bad at all. Right, finally we're ready to put some Artex on. Like I say, I left it 10 minutes and mixed it again. So using my flat brush, you can use a roller if you want, but I'd find the flat brush is fine. And then just start applying your Artex. Make sure you spread it out evenly, that's the key. I'm just working it into that edge. You can actually build up the Artex by putting a little bit more on at a time, so you get the right level of what you want. It's always difficult matching up Artex. Especially when it's not something you do every day. You know, if you're doing this all the time, you find it a lot easier. That's not too bad at all. If your arm gets tired, swap arms. That's why you have two arms. So again, once you've got it on, try and make sure it's nice and even. Before you start your pattern. And just check the levels towards the edges. Make sure you've got a nice level. You can create any pattern you want technically, once you've got it on. Right, that's not too bad. I'm going to put some more here. That's where that big bow is. Almost ready to put the texture on. That's not too bad that, so I'm just going to give it one more go over. Right. Your sponge. Load your sponge up with Artex. Now what I'm going to do is actually start from the outside edge and work to the corner. When you see the first circles appearing, start there, turn and pull off, turn and pull off. and then it's just a matter of infilling. Obviously you can't get too close to the edge, so if you do get any bits that are a bit sharp, you can just knock them back. Just keep checking your pattern. If you're not satisfied, just redo it and so some of the curly bits, you can just knock them back. And you can draw yourself down from it, have a look and see where you need to neaten it up. Okay. It's a little bit dusty in here. And if you find any spots where there's not enough Artex on, just add a bit more. You can play with it for a bit, you know, until you're satisfied with how you want it. It's not looking too bad, that. Now, I'm just going to knock off some of the tops a bit later. That's looking good, that is. If you like messy jobs, you'll love artexing. Right. Quite happy with that. Usually when it dries you can knock off some of the tops just to get them a little bit smoother, because what you've got to take into account is that Artex has had about 5 coats, probably more coats of paint, so you're never going to get it bang on straight off. what you need to do is let it dry, soften the edges off a bit and get a good few coats of paint on it to kind of blend it with the rest. But like I say, that's not too bad. I'm just going to clean my hands up there. Now, like I was saying before, round the edge of it, taking a 1-inch brush, just run round the edge, creating that edge on here. No. There you go. That's good. That is good. I'm happy with that. Quick look down here. Oh yes. Oh. Right then. So just now to rinse it. I'm going to take this sheet off straight away. I'm not going to let the Artex dry on that. I just find it more difficult to remove. So, going round the edge, you can just soften them edges a little bit. When it's dry, we can tidy it up a bit better around that edge with a bit of polyfiller. But there's no point in leaving any big lumps. Just make your life harder. Right. So I'll just give you a quick look over the whole ceiling and then towards this, and then that's the finish. But I bet you can already guess the next video coming, how to paint freshly Artexed ceilings. So starting on the pattern there, when you come across, you can see the other one there, how lumpy that one is. And then, you know, look at that. So that's matched in quite well. I'm happy with that. Really am. I'll just give you a closer look. Let's just go around the edge. I mean, you can see how lumpy the other one is. And that's mine. Again, blending in the edges to the other circles. And look at that. I mean, that is quite heavy Artex, really. Champion, that. Till next time.